Are we back? Episode 66.
Yes.
Wayne,
What's going on?
how you been?
Everything good. Everything
Always a
good.
pleasure. Always a pleasure. I'm your host, Antoine Miller. Marcos. I never called you by your last name, so I gotta make sure I get it right.
That's what's up.
How you doing, brother?
I'm great, man. Appreciate it.
Been a second, man.
No doubt.
You've been moving around since the last time we saw you at college. We can't keep track.
Yeah, man.
How many different college programs you coach with?
Four.
Four?
Yeah, four. Yeah. I had a good run. It was fun.
Yeah, we gonna get into it, man.
Yeah, it was fun. It
Former, we gonna get into this a bit because I think that's a very interesting. Former Leap Academy coach. We'll get into that. Like I said, well affiliated through the basketball landscape and all avenues, and most importantly, never seen a shot he didn't like. I think this is starting to become a consecutive theme, right? It seemed like everybody we having on
shooters a lot.
is like Dr. Wayne,
Gotta
you
let
know,
Wayne
it just
shoot that thing
that's
too.
what I'm saying, you know, like never seen a shot they ain't like. They was definitely shoot first guys when playing with them.
I ain't play no defense. I ain't play no D. Nah, I'm getting a shot.
But cause I wanna jump around a bit with you, cause again you well versed in the basketball landscape, so I would love to hear your opinion on a lot of things going on in 2022. You know, it's moving so fast.
Yeah.
So definitely like talking to people that understand it and that's well affiliated in it. So first, I want to start from the coaching landscape, right? Because again, you coached at 4 universities, right? And I see a lot of coaches that still take in my opinion, the traditional route, quote unquote, which means it's who you know, and you make sure you get in to fit in, and you take that long road, and you just shut your mouth, keep your head down, and just work.
That shit don't work.
Go.
Because by the time you can't, you'll be broke.
Go.
You'll be broke. You won't have no money. It gets to a point where the numbers just don't make sense. You know what I mean? Like, and I get it, right? At some point when you're young and you're just trying to grind through, being in the business or trying to build a career in the business, you don't realize you're living off like no money. You just finished college, and then as you stay in the business, like you said, and grind through it, by the time you're 30 years old, you're likely in a committed relationship. You might have kids. You have responsibilities and families, and then the dream is over because you can't take a $28,000 assistant job at a D2 and start your career and, like you said, grind through it. So you either have to be like super aggressive and just get in, and kind of like what I did at Leap was just like, look, I'm gonna beat the dog shit out of people, and I'm cool with the negative publicity. I'm cool with people saying I'm recruiting because I was. You're damn right I was fucking recruiting. I wanted to win. You know what I mean? I wanted to. I wasn't trying to do that shit for 10 years, and I was trying to be here 2-3 years and trying to get to college. So how you gonna do that? You want me to be competitive with? You know what I mean? I had a short window to make enough bullshit money for me to be able to stay in the business long enough. Because not I was just gonna go to law school and I was just gonna get into corporate America and be done. Now I can't coach college basketball. I can't. Like, unless they're gonna pay me, a shit ton of money, I can't take no bullshit job. You know what I mean? I can't take a job in the middle of nowhere. I'm not gonna go. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna, no disrespect to some of those jobs. I'm not gonna move from New York City or Philly to wherever. I'm just not. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna do that now. You know what I mean? So that's the thing about it, is either how aggressive are you gonna be in it right away and make a name for yourself and build off of that right away. Like, you gotta turn it right away, or you're gonna get stuck in the mud at some point, and then you in it now. Now you're in it. Now you're in it. Now you're really in it. And then the first job you get, you gotta be Shaheen Holloway at Seton Hall. Then it's okay. I mean, I'm making 180, 190. That's a decent living. But to go, make 38, 50, 40, and leave your family, and now you got your wife, she works, or your significant other, she works. Now what we're gonna do? We're gonna both leave our jobs to go do this. Your career is over. You flamed out. You know what I mean? So it's either you got to choose. That's a long road with a lot of bumps in it, and a lot of a lot of things that can happen. You know what I mean? You get lucky, you're in the right spot. Yeah, absolutely. You can turn it and get to college, maybe. You know what I mean? But I look at guys like how many guys made a successful jump from high school coach to successful college coach from New Jersey? Go. Danny Hurley.
Danny Hurley.
Give me another one. You can't. Kevin Boyle should have done it. He
Kevin Boyle, he could have did it.
Should have done it, but he didn't do it.
Yeah.
Name another guy. Name another guy in the last whatever. So you know, like, so you, it's
It's nobody.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Either you have to go quick and get in it, or you got to be okay with kind of being like you're in a basketball family. You played at Duke, or you played at Villanova, or you played at Kansas, or you're in that coaching fraternity of your family, and then you go from, you know, graduate assistant to video coordinator to director of basketball operations to third assistant to second assistant to associate head coach to head coach. Like, bro, you put in 13, 14 years of going to get somebody's, you know, dry cleaning, and like, you got the bagels today.
So I got
Like, I can't do it.
I got two questions. Saying all that, did you know that getting into the game? One, and two, why did you get into the game knowing that it's so many layers to this that it's like it's almost like making it as a player to the league?
You know what? Like
Yeah.
it's not as hard as people make it look it out to be, man. You just get some players, and you know, make sure that they, you know, they're well conditioned. They play hard. They got to play your style of play. And,
But how do you do? How do you just go get some players and make them buy into Coach Marco? How do you do that?
That's a lot of that's your personality. I mean, you got it,
Okay.
and them kids got they know you know somebody's full of shit, right? At some
Okay.
point, somebody coaching you. We had a lot of full of shit coaches. Me and Antoine, all three of us had some full of shit coaches. You know what I mean? We know what coaches, some good coaches, somebody that like I'm still friends with. And they're like my brothers. All those elite guys, they're like my little brothers. All of them, every single one of them. You know what I mean? Dylan, unfortunately, just passed away.
Rest
you
in
know,
peace, cuz.
yeah, no doubt. You know that everybody was there. The entire team was there. His teammates were there. His former coaches were there. So when people know if you care, people can see through that shit. And you have to really put your stamp on what you're gonna do and have passion in it. And you got to have relationships, and you got to have built-in relationships where people will help you. Like if he got a job and he really, and he wanted to coach, you got to support your friends and you got to support your people. The people that helped me, that sent me players, are the people that allowed me to have a career in college. It wasn't like if Sam Rhines doesn't let me coach Terrence Roderick, and Chris Rivers doesn't let me coach Reebok All-American Camp, and Sonny doesn't let me get a scouting pass for ABCD camp, and I'm not bumping into DeMarcus Cousins and LeBron and all these guys. I saw who was at these games when I was coaching. You saw what pros and celebrities was at our games and who was coming to watch us play. Ain't nobody was doing no shit like that back then. We didn't have no YouTube, no social media, no nothing. And y'all saw who was at our practices and the guys that were there working out. KD, I mean, you saw who came to open gym and all that back in the day. That's what you got to do. You got to be able to bump. And I didn't have nothing. There was no.
Wait, because I mean, you're talking about it, and for people that don't know, let's just put it out there so you can elaborate on what you're saying. So, I mean, how long was you there? 3 years. What was the year, Joe? What was the years? 04 to 07. Yeah, right after we graduated.
Yeah.
Right. So, Leap Academy is a very small school in Camden, New Jersey. Anybody that knows Camden, New Jersey is all about Camden High basketball. So you probably wouldn't know who Leap Academy was until this man came in 2004 to 2007 or 2005, 2008, right? And I mean, it was like how these new artists drop and they just take the world literally by storm. This is what he did at Leap Academy, and we was all in awe. Like we couldn't even comprehend what was happening. It happened so fast. He won big. He won flashy. He won cocky.
We had social media. That would have been amazing.
It was 50 Cent, the first 50 Cent album. Like no one was ready for this tidal wave, right? So you keep elaborating, but my question to you is how did you do it
Yeah, it was crazy.
How did you do it?
How did you do it? A lot of this shit was luck. It was crazy because it was like I'm hanging out with like AI and Sam Dellenberg, Sam Clancy. I'm driving around in his car. Next thing you know, they're like, Coach, who was it? I think it was Jeff Dean, AD at Rutgers, was like, yo, like listen, they're about to open up this school. You want to go coach there because you know you got like I had like my 3rd knee surgery. I was dead. Couldn't run. I couldn't move. He's like, you want to go over there and coach, and they'll pay for your master's degree. I'm like, all right, you know, let's try this shit out. You know what I mean? And then, but I was still friends with all these guys. I was working out with all these guys. I didn't even know, you know, if I was really gonna do it. I was like, all right, I'll try this shit out. Why not? I'll give it a try. See how it is. Next thing I know, you know, I had like 6'9", then 6'8", and 7 foot, and then 6'10", and then it was just like, all right, let's get it on. Because the first year, all I had was Will Mace, Sidale Jones. Sidale ended up playing college basketball. Will ended up playing college basketball.
That's the year when I was at Rutgers with
Yeah,
Sidale.
yeah.
Sidale Darskin.
Yeah.
Shoot like this.
Yeah,
Right? Shoot.
yeah.
That's my year.
Yeah, he went to Georgia Southern. We had some dudes.
That's my year. You know
Gotcha.
what I'm talking about.
Yes. So then we had I had Nate Craig and Mike Craig, those 2 kids from the high. They came over. Nate Craig was unbelievable. 6'8", can do it all. You know, there was only 2 kids that we'll talk about that. We'll get into that. But there was 2 kids that I really wish I would have, you know, I could have really just honed in on and really got a hold of, and they would have really gotten a lot out of it. Which one was Dylan Talley, you know, who went to Nebraska, played in the Big Ten, and then Nate Craig. And I wanted them to stay. And
2 Camden kids.
Yeah, I wanted them to stay. I really was trying to and I lost both of them. I lost one, Dylan. You know, he unfortunately, not with us anymore. And then Nate, unfortunately, you know, got into some street stuff, and he's doing great now. So, you know, I'm proud of him. But, you know, those are the 2 guys that I really wish I would have had a handle on. But Dylan was there. He was in the 8th grade. He used to come work out with us. And then I had Sidale, Will, Nate Craig, Mike Craig, and then Elvin Parada. And Nate Craig, Mike Craig, Will Mace, and Sidale, I don't think were eligible to the 30-day mark. Mm-hmm. And we got our heads smashed those first, like, 7-8 games. And I was just like, all right, wait till I get these dudes. And I was just like, I had 4 dudes on the bench, and I'm like, it's fine. So remember back in the day, you had to sit those 30 days. I'm like, it's fine. But we won like 13 straight after that. Mm. And then they said, first year program in the NJSLAA, you're not eligible for the state tournament. I'm like, no problem.
Ooh.
Yeah, no problem. It was the first year in the States, first year ever having a team. No problem. No problem. I already knew what I had, there was other guys that I wanted to come play. Mm. And that final year, it was crazy because we played St. Anthony's, St. Benedict's, St. Pat's, Oak Hill. I mean, we had a night off. We played Bishop Eustace. We beat Bishop Eustace by 30. We didn't lose to nobody in South Jersey. Nobody. It was nobody in South Jersey that would play us. And if they did, we beat the dog shit out of those guys. Mm. Like, it was bad. Mm. The only team that I think would have gave us a hard time in South Jersey at the time was Haddonfield with Zubek and the other kid. But they wouldn't play us. Mm. You know what I mean? They just wouldn't play us. Camden High wouldn't play us. They wouldn't play us. That year, we ended up having Lance went Division I. We had 8 or 9 Division I and Division II guys on the same high school basketball team in South Jersey. It was crazy. Our warm up was crazy. They would say, if you dunk, you get a tech. I took a tech every game. This year, you said flashy. I was an idiot. I was young and stupid. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was just like, all right, well, I took a tech every game.
Yo.
I had to sit down every game because we started the game out with a tech. I was like, how many techs do you give me? Give you 1.
Right.
No problem.
Right.
We start out 2 down, 2-0. It was crazy. Our warm up was crazy. It was crazy. People used to come and watch the warm up because it was crazy. Chauncey was throwing it between the legs, jumping from the dotted line, windmilling on people. We played Our Savior New American. They had, I don't know, 7 Division I players. They had 7'4", 7'2", 7'1", 6'10". It was crazy. It was crazy. We played, the competition that we played was ridiculous. We ended up beating Bordentown in the state semifinals by 30, running off the court. You know, I mean, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Well, first of all, if you think about that, that's genius marketing. If you think about it now, you could call yourself a young crazy kid, but it was all right. If I got to lose 2 points and we're the show,
it's crazy.
Come on, let's go.
It was crazy.
But so because I swear I'll never forget this article that I read in the Courier Post like 7 years ago, and they were saying essentially, unless you got a DeJuan Wagner, it's no possible way a public school will ever win the TOC again.
Oh no.
So I'm looking at you, and I'm thinking about questions or whatever like that, and it dawned on me. I would love to hear your input and Wayne's input just in general. Do you? Because obviously the TOC is gone now, right? What I didn't know is it was an overwhelming vote to get rid of it from all the ADs.
Think about it. How many people this, right? How many ADs and school administrators really want the pressure of having a successful athletic program?
I never thought of that. No, none.
You can't be
not
successful
many.
unless the administration wants you to be successful.
So the TOC is for all sports? Like all sports got TOCs?
All schools.
All schools.
No, the TOC is just boys basketball and girls basketball.
Right, yeah.
But just basketball though.
Just basketball
Yeah.
for boys and girls basketball.
But what if you go to a football powerhouse?
Football is different. That's not how it goes. Football, they play their non-conference.
But what I'm saying,
They're getting there. Football's getting
I'm saying
there.
to actually answer your question, you say how many ADs want that pressure? Like,
don't.
what if you like
They
Woodrow
don't.
Wilson AD?
No, they don't.
You know, football is his powerhouse.
ADs don't want it.
Right.
No?
But think about how much time and effort and money they got to put into that now.
To go get that TOC every year.
Well, to have a competitive athletic program and you're an administrator, that comes with a lot of pressure.
So every year you don't make the TOC, you get looked down upon as an AD.
No.
Nah.
Like, for example, if I'm the AD at Roselle Catholic, I know that having a competitive basketball program has fan support, has student body support, has alumni support, has enrollment support.
Let's just say Canada High. Let's not
donations.
talk about. Let's say Canada High. Let's say you Canada High AD.
I mean, they've done it. They've invested in their athletic program. They have a Nike Elite program. They have a Nike Elite sponsorship. They have a former NBA player as their coach. They train those guys. They do a really good job of investing in their sports program. But Camden has always done that. Woodrow Wilson has always done that, and they've done it the right way. Like, demographic fits, right? Woodrow Wilson had the field and all that over there, right next to the school. They've always invested in football, right? That's been their thing. And Camden High goes in waves, right? And Camden High has always invested in basketball, right? They got every 4 or 5 years they got a hooper, right? That's just it, and that's something that has strategically been done because it allows a lot of kids to keep them off the streets. And say what you want.
Sure.
90% of guys that go to Camden High either like basketball, want to see their basketball team win. Like, you can see by their alumni.
Be a part of just the brotherhood.
Yes, yes. You know what I mean? Like, you can see how many guys are on their team. You can see how many youngsters are at their games. Like, you can tell that Camden High is
Real
rich in
pride.
tradition. Yeah.
So, going back, do you have to be this Camden High team or that Leap Academy team do it, or can you be a traditional public
Hell
school?
no. It ain't gonna work.
So you in agreement with the guys
No.
that voted? Then?
No. Sometimes you get a Camden High that'll go and beat that. They were one shot away from winning a TOC. So that's not realistic. That game could have went in either way. Those are kids making adult decisions, man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you come down with the rebound. Sometimes it's not good to shoot. Sometimes you get fouled and the game's over. But
What just happened? What happened?
What do you mean?
The last game?
Yeah.
Well, he mean it could have went either way. I mean,
Yeah, it could've went
that's
either
just
way.
the luck of the
Anyone could've won
draw.
that
But
game.
he's
so
saying
Camden High could have been a TOC champion in the last year of TOC. So I don't think that point can be made because there's a lot of schools that have the ability, to, like your school, for example. You can, if you really get it going and people support you and people want to see you do well, and like you're one of my former teammates. Like, if I have a son in the area, I'm gonna want him to be coached by you. You've already built up that those relationships, and you're still training guys. You're doing the AAU program, so you're gonna build up a wave of relationships that'll end up, allowing you to be successful as a high school coach. But if I can see why a lot of ADs don't want that because. Look, their championship ends with their group. Their championship ends with schools like them. So it is a non-competitive cop-out.
That's what I was about to
That's
say.
that's why I'm asking.
I don't want to get, if I'm the AD at, wherever school, I don't want to play against them dudes in the first round of the TOC. Let
You
me
don't
just
even
have
want to try?
I'm just saying, if I'm them, if I'm
Yeah.
them, no, I wouldn't. I would not want to get beat by 40. No. I wouldn't, because that's a different level. Now, what I do think they should allow them kids to do is play a open schedule. I think they should play whoever they want then. because then you can't limit those opportunities on the other side too. So if you're going to say, all right, it's an unfair advantage, fine. Let me have my schedule then. Let me just play a national schedule then, and I only got to play 8 games in state. Why are you going to limit the amount of games that I have to play in state and then not give me a true state championship?
It's not a true state championship.
It's not a true state championship. See what I'm saying? So, but then you're going to limit the amount of games that I play in state. So, well, let me go compete for a national championship. And I think that's one of the points that were to be made was they would allow the New Jersey, the top level schools to play in the Dix, national championship because right now they're not allowed to based on when it ends. So I don't know if you know that or not.
No.
It's a complete disadvantage.
No.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Our NJSIAA championship does not allow the winner of the New Jersey State Championship to play in the Dix National Championship. Absolutely not. That's why only St. Benedict's always ever makes it.
So that's probably one of the reasons why they taking TOCs off.
Maybe that
because Cannon High about to do it next year.
I don't think they should. I don't think they have enough foresight.
I like that.
But I don't think they did it. That's the thing. But I think that
you heard that right.
Yeah, I do think that they'll compete for a national
not
championship.
Compete, win.
Yeah, I think they will compete for a national championship next year. I don't know who's I don't make I know you're a Camden High.
They're gonna win, man. They got to.
That's
they coming back.
That Camden High tradition right there. They don't mess around, man.
Listen, man, through and through, bro.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, you some push-ups, right?
Listen.
Why?
What you talking about the game?
Oh, you bet on the game?
Yeah, 50 push-ups.
Hey. So yeah, man, yeah. I that second year at Leap team was definitely. I would have loved to have seen us playing right now. Damn, man, Will lost all the DVDs to the games. He killed me, man.
Tell me about it, man. It's one of my son's mom threw my damn VCR tape out the damn window.
No.
Oh yeah,
Rutgers Camden versus Rutgers Newark, man.
Yeah.
At Rutgers Newark or Rutgers Camden?
At Camden.
She just did that, like within the last 2 years.
Oh no,
man.
You can probably still get that though. What's name got it? I bet you.
He tried.
You couldn't get the film?
No, I didn't
get
try
it from
that.
somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
you
bet
tried
you can still get
to.
it.
You tried to
Well,
go out there. And,
I'm gonna take it to a VCR place. I got it.
Oh, you
You
tried
got
to
it.
salvage it?
Yeah, I went out and got it.
He went out and got it, bro. He was trying to like.
We need that.
That's what's up.
So when you was there, you started mapping out. Wait, I can leverage this to college ranks and possibly further and further.
I took the assistant job at UC Riverside the second year, and then they started messing with me with recruitment and talking about he recruiting.
Oh wait, talk about that real quick.
They
how'd that go?
we went. They told me that I was recruiting for Athletic Advantage, and I was like, yeah. They were like, what? I was like, yes. Like, what do you mean? I'm the basketball coach. Like, we had like, it was a small school. Mm-hmm. We had a bunch of open enrollment, and at that schools, you had to enroll students. So I said, well, I'm the basketball coach. Like, I'm gonna run a basketball program. Kids are gonna come. Mm-hmm. Like, we played a national schedule. We had sponsorship. We had.
Makes sense to me.
Our open gyms in the summertime were ridiculous. It was crazy who was in the gym playing pickup with the guys.
University Cal?
UC Riverside, Riverside, California.
Yeah,
and I was going. I took the job, and David Spencer offered me the job. I took the job, and the kids were like crying, like, "Nah, you can't leave, And I was like,
"Cause you brought them there."
Yeah. So I was like, "They're like, you can't leave," and I'm like, "Oh my God!" So I didn't go, only because they were messing with me with the recruiting shit. I was like, "All right, I'm gonna stay," because we fought it. That rule I'm talking about, because we won that sectional championship and then the state championship at the. Against Bordentown, and then we played Bloomfield Tech with Kasim Drummond from Villanova and Deshaun Butler from West Virginia and Ra that played at Central Connecticut State. Another guy that played, we lost to them in the state championship. That team was like the highest rated team in the state of New Jersey at the time. They were higher than St. Pat's because they lost to St. Pat's with Corey Fisher and Jeff Robinson in the TOC championship that year. In any case, took the job. They were like, "Oh, you're recruiting. You're going to be banned from the state tournament next year." So we fought it. We lawyers and everything, we fought it all the way through that following year because they were like, wait, time out. We're a choice school. We have to recruit, right? Okay. We have to have a competitive, language program. We have to have a competitive advantage for everything. So we build a medical clinic at Leap Academy where if a kid is sick, you don't keep them home. Like, you bring them in, you let them be seen by the doctor, they get medication, they get their work from their teachers, and then they go home, right? That makes sense, right? Like, that makes sense as a community-based school for you to serve the community, right? But that also allows the school to have an advantage when enrollment comes because they have things built in to allow a constant flow of enrollment. That's what charter schools do. They give a choice to minority families about what can be allowed under this amount of money that they get for funding from the state. I did that with an athletic program. They didn't like it. I went into the meeting. They were like, "You're recruiting." I said, "Yes."
Right.
I was. I was like, "Absolutely." What do you mean? Yes, I'm the basketball coach. We think I'm going to recruit swimmers. Like, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to recruit basketball players. They're like, "Well, you can't do that." I'm like, "All right." I'm like, "All right."
What's the rule you broke? Just can't recruit.
Can't recruit, but that's it's not realistic to think that I am, and that's why when we went in, what I was trying to convey to them was, y'all put us in the wrong classification. I didn't tell y'all to put us in public B or group 1. I didn't go put us. We didn't play group 1 schools. We didn't play any group. Who did we play? St. Pat's, St. Benedict's, Bishop Eustace, Camden, Woodrow. We didn't play anybody that was group. We didn't play Gloucester High. We didn't play Pittman. I wouldn't even call to schedule them because it's not fair to my kids. Like, I wouldn't even be able to play my starters for the after. When we got into the playoffs, I couldn't play my starters more than like 2 quarters.
Because you got to play the Group 1 schools.
I'm not doing that to them kids. I wasn't going to beat nobody's son by no 50, 60 points. Like, it's enough, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, be respectful. Respect your opponent. You know what I mean? I only got a couple of people like that. Cherry Hill East tried to, with John Valori.
Okay.
They smacked me the first year. I said, that shit'll never happen again. I didn't have any dudes. He wouldn't play me. I was like, that shit'll never happen again. Now I got ego too, right? So you're gonna beat me like that. All right. Wait till I get these motherfuckers ready. Play me now, let's play. Because I didn't have a full deck. I'm playing with a half a deck. And you out there shooting all these damn threes and shit. All right, no problem. Play me again, old head. Now he wouldn't play me. I'm like, and then I think he was the guy that complained and said, "Oh, he was, he's recruiting, blah blah blah."
New Jersey, bro.
Yeah. But I didn't care about that. I was like, y'all have this shit. This shit was too easy. I'm done. I came in here just, and I'm out. Y'all got it. Y'all can have it back. I only borrowed it for a minute. I wasn't staying for long.
3 years out of here.
Yeah, I was done.
Here.
I was gonna leave after the second year. I was gonna leave after the second year. I was going out west.
Yeah.
I was going to UC Riverside. And then the kids, and then they did that to me. I was like, I'm gonna come back one more year. And then I stayed there that following year. We ended up having like 4 or 5 Division I players that next year. And then it was like, all right, then I'm gonna leave. Then I went to I was gonna go to Indiana because Mike Davis was the head coach at Indiana, and I was going to Indiana with him and Donnie Marsh. They had
Oladipo?
Robert Vaden. Nah, that was before him. They had Robert Vaden. They had a kid. I think it was Tarico White or something White. DJ White, I don't know, one of them, last name White, he was tough.
DJ White?
Was it DJ White? Was
the
DJ
one
White?
that scared the fly? No,
that was something Ross, whatever. But anyway, Royce. I was going there, Royce, I was going there with him, and then he got fired. And I'm like, because Terrence Roderick, the kid that Sam Rhines let me coach with his AAU team, he was going to go to Indiana. And I was like, all right, it was between Indiana and Florida State. It was Coach Leonard Hamilton. It was Coach Leonard Hamilton's first year there. That's funny because now my son's going to play for Leonard Hamilton. That's how crazy this basketball is. That's why it's always good to be good to people. Because it was between Florida State and Indiana. And Terrence was like, "Marcos, you going to Indiana?" See, I'm going to Indiana. He's like, "Well, I'm going with you." And I was like, "All right, we out. We're going to Indiana." I called Coach. I said, "Coach, we're going to Indiana." So he gets fired. And Donnie Marsh called me and was like, "We're going to UAB." I'm like, "What? Where's UAB?" I'm like, I thought it was a free-for-all now, so I'm cool. I'm going to take another coaching job. T-Rod, you got to go to Florida State. That's it. He calls me like, we're going to UAB. I'm like, what is UAB? He's like, Birmingham, Alabama. I said, Coach, I'm from Alexandria, Egypt, Coach. Can I go to Birmingham, Alabama? Like, am I cool in Birmingham, Alabama? Like, can I go to Birmingham? He's like, yeah, it's not like that. I was like, oh, man. I went down there, and Birmingham, Alabama, brother.
Birmingham,
Alabama. That's what I was saying. Like, I was spoiled, man. I was spoiled. I was wearing fur coats at the college. I was wearing fur coats to the basketball games. I was tripping. And then when I was in college, I was doing that crazy shit. And then I was there for a year. That's funny. And then I got out of there, went to Rice in Houston. Houston was dope. Houston was dope. I liked Houston. Houston's a nice city. That's under probably the most. Have you been to Houston?
Nope.
You been to Houston?
No.
It's probably the most. It's not really a good place to visit. It's a good place to live.
Yeah.
Like the weather's good all the time.
I mean, everybody's moving to Austin.
Austin is Dope,
So like, I
super
mean,
dope.
like everybody's migrating to Austin.
Yeah. Austin's super dope, but Houston was dope. And Rice, we when I got there, they were terrible, like awful. They were like last in the league. First year there, they were like we didn't have time to recruit, so we won.
You
like,
was there that
3
year. They
games.
had that the leading scorer of the college. Remember, he was
No,
from
he
Rice.
was not Rice. He
Remember?
wasn't at Rice.
One year they had him. They had one.
Oh, did Morris Almond? I got there right after him.
Marcus Almond. that's
Morris
his name.
Almond. Yeah, I got there right after him. No,
He led the motherfucking NCAA in scoring, yo.
Man,
Word up, you
on
did,
it,
yo.
bro.
It's a hell of a
You on
stat.
it.
Yeah, we were terrible when I got there, and then by the end we had Kazemi that was with the Sixers. We had Omar Arabi that was with the Lakers and the Rockets. We had Dylan Ennis who had scored 40 against North Carolina in the national championship game at Oregon, and it was at Villanova when they went to the national championship game, and then the Elite Eight the following year or whatever. And then I had Darrell Reichel that was like Player of the Year in the whatever league that was. And then he was at Rhode Island. Julian DeBose was second team All League. Tamir Jackson ended up being one of the best players at Rice history. We ended up sweeping Houston. We ended up beating Memphis for the first time in school history. We ended up beating Texas A&M at Texas A&M. Rice ain't never beat no Texas A&M, not to like 50s or some shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Rice beat Texas A&M. We beat Texas A&M at Texas A&M. It was crazy. Sold out.
They had Michael Jordan.
They paid us. No, that was UCF.
Okay.
We beat UCF when they had Michael Jordan's son. They had Marcus Jordan. Beat them. But
Gave him that
we were
word.
loaded. I had some dudes there too.
You've been around the block, man. I'm
Yeah.
just like that. That's an amazing. Like even I mean you young. Like even that's you've been alive, bro. That's an amazing
Yeah,
ride,
man, Rice
bro.
was dope, man. I appreciate it, man.
That's an
You
amazing
could do
ride,
it over
bro.
again. Would you do it?
Hell, yeah. But same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd never left Rice though. I'd have been right there. I'd have chilled.
that Rice.
That was a good job. I love that job. That was a great place. Rice is a great place, man. Great people, great place. I was just I was too aggressive. You know what I mean? I was too aggressive as a high school coach. I think I rubbed people up the wrong way, but I was competitive. I think I wasn't doing it like from a
You think you was too aggressive?
what? If you played good against me, I would come up to you after the game like, nephew, you need to come play for us. That's what it was.
I
If
mean,
you played
you
good
dead
against
serious,
us,
hey man,
man,
hey.
the kids would go up to
Hey,
them. The
hey,
kids would
man.
go up to. But you know what's crazy? The kids that came to Leap, none of them kids. Like Earl Knight was not playing at Haddonfield. He comes to me. He's a Division I player. Nate Cooper. They put him on JV as a 6'9" junior, and he came to me one year. He's at University. Chauncey Gilliam
Right.
wasn't really playing where he was at. Comes to me. He's at Akron. Lance James comes to me, didn't really have nothing, comes to me, mid-major, high-major, Division I player. Will
Right.
Bates didn't have nothing where he was at. He comes to me as a college basketball player. Sedell Jones didn't have, these guys didn't have nothing. So it was like, was I recruiting? I was recruiting, but I was also giving kids an opportunity based on how I thought that I can get them to play to go to college. So it's not like I was recruiting them and it was a selfish thing where I'm like, yo, come
Yeah.
play for me, let me use you up. And all them kids got whatever they get it. Like whatever I got out of this basketball business, they got. They see, that's the thing. I don't think people really look at this thing like a shared win. In my culture, it's only a win is if we both win. If in business, if one party walks away from a deal and doesn't feel like they won, in my culture, that's haram. That's not supposed to be like that. And if it's not a collective win, it ain't a win. And that's how it is. That's why a lot of times you see people in the Arabic culture, we do a lot of business together. Because if it's not a good deal for both people, it ain't a good deal. If you walk away and you feel like I cheated you or I slighted you in any way, then that deal won't go well for me in another way. Something will happen later on down the line and it won't go well for me. And I don't think people really go into that when they go into these relationships together. I don't think they really want sometimes to see the other person win as much as they win. Here's, like, I'll give you an example. A lot of coaches win, but where do the kids go? Like, what happens? Is that a win for real? Is who benefits? Is it a benefit for the coach? Is it a benefit for the school? And is it a benefit for the kid? If all three entities are not benefiting from that relationship and that transactional relationship,
Took the
You
words out of my
didn't
mouth.
win.
This is a transaction, bro.
Oh, absolutely. Everything's a transaction.
You are a commodity to me. I'm a commodity to you. We have to be able to help each other.
The sum of those parts has to be a positive. If the sum of our parts together is not a positive, if there's a negative in any of that equation, it will not be a positive. You understand? If two things are negative and there's a positive, depending on where that negative is, you will not be successful. And if there's not a shared vision, where in a shared win from all parties, you're not going to be successful.
I like it.
And going back, bro, I don't think you was over because again, people of color, bro, we have to be that. And I'm gonna say confident. I really, because everybody want to use ego. They want to go straight to ego, but it's like, nah, it's you're extremely confident in what you're doing. Like, but even with the ego side, we need that, bro. Like, I don't know what people like you. Yeah. I don't feel you can be successful without ego.
Yeah, sure. You gotta be twice as good. You gotta be.
You can't. It's not. This isn't fair, bro.
Lucky. No, it's not fair.
So
it's not fair.
What else do I got?
Yeah,
I'm already from the slums. Like I didn't have anything.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's all I got. Yeah. I don't got no money. I don't got no. That's all I got is ego and confidence.
No doubt. Yeah.
So for you to say that about me or somebody say that about you, bro, you kick rocks.
Yeah, I know. I never apologized for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a. I mean, y'all know me for 15, 20 years. I've never apologized for anything. I've never done anything. I don't think any man can say that I slighted him or any way or not like that. I didn't step on nobody's neck to make it. Ain't nobody.
You fouled me before and then get me fouled.
I didn't give you no foul. Yeah, I'm from New York. You know what I mean? We got to do that. That's what it is. You know what I mean? You my man. You from round the way. You know, you took me a couple spots to get some food. I remember. You know, I'm like, where you from here, man? Take me around. He's like, you really want to be around Camden? Yeah, man. Did I tell you the first story about me playing pickup in Camden? I almost got killed.
No.
I came down here and I moved in the summer, like the EOF, like the bullshit in the summer when there's nobody on campus.
Yeah,
and, I get on campus, ain't nothing. It was desolate back in the day. It was nothing.
It was nothing.
Nothing.
Remember, sometimes was
nothing.
Dead.
It was desolate. There was no students, no nothing. So I got my ball and I go to the security desk and I'm like, hey man, where's the basketball court? He's like, oh, no problem, man. Go out here, make a left at the dorms. You know where you make a left, you know where you're going, right? Past the gym, you know where you're going, right? He's like, then go underneath the bridge, make your first right to the basketball court right there. I'm like, all right, I don't know nothing. I'm from Brooklyn. I don't know nothing about Jersey City, Brooklyn. I don't know nothing about no Camden. Get my ball, I'm driving down the street, go to the basketball court, I'm talking shit to them people. Next thing you know, somebody goes to the trunk. WAP saves my life. That's how me and WAP are like this. WAP. Whoa, chill, man. He's at Rutgers, man. Chill the fuck out, man. Like, yeah, they were going to the trunk on my big ass, man, because they weren't gonna fight me. They were like, small, Hispanic dudes from that neighborhood. Yeah. That's
she was out north.
Yeah.
That gym, they know that court with the metal backboards right there.
From
you go right past the liquor store right there. You make a right. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. That was gonna be the end.
Coach Kevin Walls used to run his
Summer league right there, and they had the little elementary school. If it rained, they would go in there. Yeah. Camden's,
out of all places, that's where you went to play ball. I thought he was gonna go to 4th and Washington. You feel me?
That's where I ended up. That's how I ended up meeting Dylan.
Yeah.
That's how I ended up meeting Dylan.
He got there.
At 4th and Washington.
He took a detour, but he got there.
Was a legend, baby.
Yeah, I'm hearing. That's what Wayne was talking about.
Oh, he was an animal. Dylan Talley would say some crazy stuff to me because I didn't start Dylan. Dylan was all Big Ten, second team, and didn't start for me. He was the 8th man. Think about that for a second. He started at Nebraska and couldn't start for me at Lee. He was the 8th man. All right? And he would be every time I walked by, he would pull my pants, coach, you need the game. One time we were playing, who were we playing? We were losing to somebody. And we were getting smacked by Bloomfield Tech in the state championship. And he was like, Coach, you need Dylan in the game. I was like, you're going to talk about yourself in the third person, baby. That's what he said to me. Got arrested, so I put him in the game. He hit like cool 3 threes. Dylan, but he didn't play no D. His name was Dylan because he didn't play no D. He didn't play no defense whatsoever.
Man, rest in peace, Dylan.
No doubt. Rest in peace.
Let's end with this. Your son going to Florida State, bro, in the fall, man. I know how you work. I know how emotional you are when it comes to the game of basketball. And now you got your son that you brought up, and again, he's fortunate enough to go to with Leonard Hamilton and play at Florida State this fall. How did you navigate this whole process knowing you know the game of basketball, knowing you played the game of basketball, and now you're a father doing all this. And I'm always curious to see how basketball dads go about that, because it's difficult, because from what I see, a lot of people, I was this, so you got to be this, but you got to tweak this and be better at that, and A, B, C, D, go down the line. How did you navigate this whole process with your son?
I didn't let a lot of people blow negativity into my son. I kept him around me. I always breathed life into him and breathed success into him and gave him confidence. And I think a lot of coaches coach from a position of fear and a position of intimidation. I'm not trying to intimidate you. I want you to be tough. I want you to be aggressive. I want you to be physical. But I want you to also know that comes from confidence, right? If you're confident, if somebody would have ever given him confidence, I think he could have been a Division I player. No doubt about it, right? Because he could shoot, he had a nice handle, he had good size, he was quick. But somebody got to breathe life into that and say, yo, you can play here. Let me put you in a position where you can reach that, right? So I didn't ever let nobody come near my son, because I knew at some point somebody would say, you can't. I never said you can't. You can do whatever you want to do, but you just got to work at it like that's what you want. So if the expectation is this, I always said to him, if you set this as an expectation or you set this as a goal, you're not meeting the necessary requirements to achieve that goal, and you leave that as that, right? You don't breathe inconsistency, or you don't breathe desperation, or you don't breathe anything into them. No negativity whatsoever. You just got to keep. If that's the expectation, you're not meeting the necessary steps to meet that expectation. And I always kept that with him, and I never let I let Sam Rhines coach him. I let the guys that I really let in around my son were people that I were like my family. Mm-hmm. I didn't let you didn't ever see no videos of me my son training with nobody. You don't see him playing with nobody. You don't see if he's not playing with me, then it was because I kicked his ass out the gym that day, and he can go kick rocks for a couple weeks and he finds somebody to play with in a couple terms. But he don't work out with nobody if he's not handpicked by me. I don't let nobody come near him. There's no opinion that's necessary, because I've earned that. No disrespect, but my opinion matters more than you or you. I've earned that shit. So they not gonna ask you. If they gonna talk to me, they're not asking you. If I'm talking to somebody, I already had that conversation with the head coach. I don't talk to assistant coaches. I don't talk to no assistant coaches, because assistant coaches don't make decisions. I talk to head coaches, because I've been in that. I've brought guys that were nice, and coach be like, he ain't ready. Coach, he can do that. You don't play the way I want him to play. Damn, I had to learn that as an assistant coach. So then when I'm in it now as a parent, like, coach, my man, I appreciate you. Thank you, Doda. But when you're a head coach, you're gonna make a decision based on what you think and the way you want to play. Now you're gonna take your staff's opinion, but the guy that's gonna make that decision is the head coach, right? So I didn't really let a lot of people have an opinion on my son. He played, in the summertime. He trained. He played with me. He trained. He played went overseas. Did stuff over there. Did stuff, working out over there in Egypt, stuff like that. Where I know I'm going to keep him in a very insulated expectation bubble, and everybody that was around him had the same expectations of him. So it wasn't going to be where I was going to send him to so and so was going to dictate where he played and how. Never. So when if you have the opportunity to do that, you keep those buffers around your kids, and if you can create those little bumpers so that way when he bumps into stuff, he's not crashing, he's just bumping off that wall, then because you don't understand how much maturity goes in to even graduating high school, and by the time you even get to basketball season, just that, right, from when you graduate high school, prom, the limo, the getting dressed up, the date, all that bullshit, to October for first day of practice, and then October 28th, 29th, the first game, you are a completely different human being. What's going to happen to you is it's going to fuck your head up, because you don't realize that schedule in a day where you got to condition, class, meet with your individual coach, film, individual
Start at 5
film,
o'clock a.m.
Individual film, team practice, study hall, do your work, and then still have, you know, a social life. They don't understand what has to go into that, right? So, you know, guys don't realize that maturity that has to come. You're looking at a kid who's 16 years old, and you're expected to make a decision on what he's going to be 2.5 years from now. It's unrealistic. So I never let nobody go near him. I never let nobody, you know, have an opinion. And then I never, you know, I never breathe or never put anything into him that wasn't positive. Like, this is your expectation. You know, I wanted him to go to Penn. To be honest with you, I wanted him to go to Penn to play for Steve Donahue. That's my guy, one of my best friends. I wanted him to go to play at Penn. You know, Jeremiah wanted to play at Florida State. That's where he wanted to go. That's his dream school.
You
I'm
know
like,
what's up?
you know what I mean? Like, you go to Penn. You know, as a young African American, Egyptian American, you go to, you know, UPenn. Your life is set.
I mean, Mia Khalifa down in Florida State. You know who that is?
Who?
Mia Khalifa. Shout
No.
out to Mia. Look her up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you know, obviously Florida State's a great school, great university. But I you know, that's what I was trying to, because you know, I wanted him to have a fallback that I didn't have, or that none of us had. Because you know, you go to those schools, the nepotism and the relationships that you build when you're in school, and the fraternity that you belong to is rich and powerful. And as you know, minorities, we have to sometimes, you know, start to achieve other levels of success, because there's 400 basketball players that play in the league. Those are the guys that make real money. Outside of that, the other, and there are guys that make good money overseas. A lot of my players are having great careers overseas, and they're making good money. But the type of lifestyle that you have when you're playing overseas, and then you have to come back here at 38 years old, 37 years old, 40 years old, and try to then find a second career at 40, like, it's hard, and a lot of guys don't know how to handle that. And that's why a lot of times they burn through their money, or you know, you see them and you know, you're like, damn, like, the second part of their life is not as glamorous as the first part of their life, because they really devote 90% of their life into a 10-year working career, and then now you got to figure out what to do from 40 to 70, and you don't have any what's the what do you call it, skill? What's the transferable skill that you learn? What can you put on a resume? I can knock down a jump shot. You know what I mean? I know a good decision to make on the break. Like, so I was looking at it from a whole life perspective. But you know, honestly, you know, he's 6'6", 6'7". You know, he's left-handed, but he's ambidextrous. He makes plays at the rim. He's got great length, great size for his position. He's always played on the ball. He just grew into the position, so he got a chance to be. He's super explosive. You know, he's
better than Omar Casper.
Jeremiah?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jeremiah's got a chance to be really, really good. He's big.
Is he better than Omar Caspi right now? Right now.
No, Omar Caspi was a bad boy, man. Omar Caspi was a monster, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, he ain't. I'm not even going to set those expectations. No, Jeremiah is going to be Jeremiah. I think he's going to be. You know, I think he reminds me of, like, what's the kid's name that played at Syracuse, that played in the league? Michael Carter-Williams. I think he's Michael Carter-Williams. I think he's more athletic than Michael Carter-Williams.
So you're gonna be Anthony Hardaway.
Oh man, that would be a dope. He's really athletic. I don't know if you saw him play. I don't know if you saw any film on how he played, but some of the workouts that we do is crazy. And I don't do a lot of the. I film some stuff, but I only put it in pieces where you can see him get better. Okay. So I don't put enough stuff out where you could be like, critique it, and as you can see how he's progressed. And I only put stuff out when there's a progression. You get what I'm saying? So when you see something different, then that's when I post it. I'm like, all right, so then he's added this, or he's added. So then you see the natural, you know, success level or skill level improve, and then that's how you build an athlete.
There you go.
There we go.
But for your little ones.
My little one.
That's the recipe. That's the recipe, bro.
I'm going a different route.
I mean, outside of who they got to play for in high school.
Yeah.
You need to follow.
He's already picked.
He's got to go to Camden High. That's already done. That's what's up.
For sure.
This was dope.
Appreciate you coming, Marco.
No doubt.